like to say that ASHRAE bEQ is modeling software brand friendly. We are okay with every modeling software brand out there that you use. We don't tell you what modeling software to use. You are welcome to use the one that you use in your design every day. All those programs are very good, and we decided a long time ago just to accept the ones that you use.
El programa BEQ, en el caso para edificios en fase de proyecto, acepta cualquier sistema de modelado conocido, el que ustedes usen para realizar el modelado energético va a servir y va a ser igual de fructífero que cualquier otro, y se necesita, y básicamente se puede usar cualquiera de ellos, los reconocidos, los 2 o 3 más conocidos y cualquier otro, porque la información que se solicita es el resultado final del modelado, así que con eso ya se les usa.
But what we want to talk about with the as design is the most important concepts, right? What you're trying to do is show off or highlight the asset value of that building. So you're trying to show us what that building was designed to do and how good it can be. How good it can be. How good it should be.
Lo importante, lo que se trata de lograr con el bEQ en fase de proyecto es demostrar lo que el edificio está pensado en lograr, en qué puede lograr ser. Luego eso va a tener que ser demostrado, pero es importante comercialmente poder mostrar inversores, etcétera, cómo va a operar o cómo se supone que va a operar, se predice que va a operar el edificio.
It's also an assessment of the building's physical characteristics and mechanical systems. And bEQ gives you several of the input parameters for your software modeling program. So you input the same ones that you did during design, and then we give you a list of some input variables that we would like for you to use. So it's a very simple process to do an as-design rating.
Es muy sencillo pasar mientras está el edificio en fase de proyecto, la misma información que necesita el bEQ, no necesita tanta información adicional, sino que los mismos parámetros que se usaron para proyecto, por supuesto en el caso de que se realice un modelado, van a ser útiles para cargar como input en el programa bEQ, en las planillas bEQ.
And so then the mathematics are absolutely crazy. We're all engineers in the room, very smart engineers. Is this the mathematics that you remember from your school? No, another small joke from me. And it is going to work. The math is simple. It's building energy quotient. Quotient equals division. It's the EUI of the candidate building divided by the EUI of the baseline times 100 to get rid of the fraction, and that's the simple mathematics.
Bueno, la matemática, la parte analítica es muy sencilla. Sería básicamente el consumo de energía de nuestro edificio comparado con un edificio base.
So now, that's as design, right? That's the design of the building when it first gets building construction and up to 12 months. Now we'll talk about the in-operation rating. The in-operation rating provides the rating based on the measured, metered energy use of that building. So it's all about how it was designed, but it's all about how it is actually operated too. It's the second part of the complete solution, because the designer and the owner wanted it designed to perform one way, and the in-operation rating will now tell you if it's actually operating that way. Because this is where that comes out.
El bEQ en operación provee un resultado basado en lo medido, en lo que realmente arroja como resultado la operación del edificio, y va a servir para contrastar con el proyecto, va a servir para contrastar con lo que se había diseñado y con lo que se esperaba del edificio.
So the in-operation rating requires that the building be more than 12 months old because we need at least 12 months worth of data. But we would prefer 12, 18 months, 2 years of data if we can get it. On the forms that we provide, you can provide up to 3 years of data. We just use the most recent data in order to do the rating. But it also includes an ASHRAE Level 1 Plus energy audit. It requires you to actually go to the site, visit it, take pictures, speak with the clients, speak with the occupants, take some bEQ measurements, temperature, humidity, CO2, some light levels. And the point of all that is that we want to make sure that the building is actually operating properly. We do not want people asking for an energy rating on a building that's too hot, not enough light, the people are uncomfortable, etc., etc. So that's the point of asking for those parameters.
Para realizar un BEQ en operación se solicitan por lo menos 12 meses de operación. Por supuesto que si tenemos 18, 24 hasta 36 meses de operación sería beneficioso y de hecho se puede cargar información como por ejemplo las facturas de luz que se necesita cargar de hasta 3 años. Es muy importante, bueno, un poco acerca de la auditoría que se realiza nivel 1 más, que bueno, que por supuesto hay que visitar el edificio, hay que recomendar acciones para realizar mejoras, verificar momentos de consumo pico, reducción de energía, de operación que se vea deficiente y ver oportunidades de utilizar fuentes de energía renovables dentro del edificio, tomar fotos y obtener mediciones de temperatura, humedad, lo que es el ambiente, ¿no? Indoor environmental quality, la calidad del ambiente interior y tener en cuenta sí, pero no, eso.
The mathematics is the same. It's the EUI of your building divided by the EUI provided in the workbook for a particular baseline building times 100 to get rid of the fraction. Same formula, same grid, and that's what you use to compare. But it comes with an ASHRAE Level 1 Plus energy audit, right? So that starts off with a preliminary energy use analysis. You look at the power bills, you look at the energy bills, the gas, the electric, whatever. You look at the demand and how that is taken care of. You do a space function analysis where you look at every space and how it is conditioned. You identify the low cost, no cost, very easy energy conservation measurements to do, and you suggest those to the owner, but you also recommend more complicated capital expenditures that the customer will do at another time or will ask you to provide more detail. But the ASHRAE in-operation rating only asks you to document what they are. They do not ask you to actually go and do a level 2 energy audit or a level 3 energy audit.
La matemática, la parte analítica, como en el caso de edificios en fase de proyecto, es muy sencillo. Es el índice energético de nuestro edificio comparado con un edificio base de la misma clase. Esa parte es muy sencilla. Un poco lo que, como resultado de una auditoría a nivel 1 más, bueno, según se ve en el diagrama, se obtienen análisis preliminares energéticos, análisis acerca de posibilidades de mejora sin costo, posibilidades de mejora más sofisticadas que ya requieren una inversión importante, análisis de operación del edificio, etc.
ASHRAE's procedures for commercial energy audits, which we call the Green Book, which you saw before, actually gives you step-by-step instructions on how to do that level 1 energy audit, level 2, level 3, etc. So you could certainly go further if you wanted to with that customer, but the ASHRAE bEQ for in-operation only asks you to do level 1.
En En el estándar y la guía de procedimientos de auditorías energéticas está muy claro, muy sencillo y detallado de cómo se realiza el tipo de auditoría. Se pueden realizar auditorías más sofisticadas, más de nivel 2 o nivel 3, pero el bEQ solo solicita nivel 1.
So, using bEQ, energy targets, commissioning, and all the tools that we have available to us, we're trying to make higher performance buildings and perhaps get to net zero energy buildings someday.
Utilizar commissioning, building energy quotient, el programa de ASHRAE y entre otros tipos de medidas puede llevarnos a lograr edificios tipo net zero, que es un edificio que está conectado a la red, pero que en balance final no consume energía, porque a veces consume y a veces la entrega, y ese balance siempre tiene que dar positivo. Y la idea es llegar hacia ese camino de edificios net zero.
So, are net zero energy buildings possible? Are they possible in Argentina? Are they possible in the rest of the world? And the answer is simply yes. There's a lot of them out there.
¿Son estos edificios de consumo cero posibles? Sí. En cualquier parte del mundo hay un montón de ejemplos y no es necesariamente tan costoso ni tan difícil de lograr.
In the United States, we have what we call NREL, the National Renewable Energy Labs, and they came out with a report that simply said not everybody can be net zero energy buildings, right? Because it makes sense that probably 10, 20, 30% maximum buildings are ever going to be able to do that, right? Because it costs money. And you have to have the land, you have to have the roof space, you have to have a lot of things in that building in order to be net zero energy, so not everybody will get there. But the point is, try to get there. Try to be as high performance of a building as you possibly can.
Bueno, no todos los edificios pueden ser net zero. Esta asociación de energías renovables americana explica que solo un 10%, un 30% podría llegar a hacerlo, pero el objetivo es acercarse lo máximo posible dentro de nuestras posibilidades regionales, de nuestro edificio, de nuestro terreno, etc.
There are net zero energy buildings out there all over the world. This is just an example of something.
Hay muchísimos edificios net zero alrededor del mundo. Estos son solo algunos ejemplos.
I also love this video, Vision 2020, and in the 45 minutes I have to talk, I cannot show that to you, but if anybody wants a copy of it, I'm happy to email it to you. You can have a copy of my presentation in a PDF, and it will have the address on there where you can get it, so I think you should try to do that. It's a very, very good video, it's only 7 minutes long.
Hay un video que comenta Rock que no alcanza el tiempo para verlo, pero dice que nos lo puede enviar y que puede ponerlo a nuestra disposición acerca de edificios net zero, que solo toma 5 o 6 minutos de duración, así que está disponible para que lo vean.
So, here's some fast examples on how you can look at a building and see all the target energy conservation measures. You just have to look at the walls and the windows and the doors and the roof, any mechanical equipment that's out there, renewables that are on the roof or in the property. Those are all ideas on how you can improve the energy efficiency of that building.
Acá un poco las distintas partes componentes del edificio en las que tenemos que hacer foco para lograr esas mejoras energéticas, como la aislación de los techos, las ventanas, tipo de iluminación, control de temperatura, el manejo de la operación de todo el edificio, conservación de agua, mejoras o reemplazos de equipamientos mecánicos, acumulación de energía. Bueno, si en el caso de plantas es todavía más opción.
And certainly in the heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, refrigeration areas, those opportunities are very clear to us and very common, right? You've got chillers, you got boilers, you got package equipment, rooftop units, controls. You have a lot of ideas to choose from just within the HVAC in our field.
Solo en lo que se refiere a aire acondicionado, a las instalaciones termomecánicas, muchos de esos objetivos que les comentaba anteriormente están clarísimos para realizar mejoras o para analizar su funcionamiento, como chile, conectadoras de aire, bombas, calderas, sistemas de aire comprimido, bueno, de equipos compactos, etc.
These are just some ideas for you. I wanted to make sure that you had a listing of some ideas that you can actually use to save energy and make energy conservation measures. A lot of these are very obvious things that you do and you see every day in your work.
Bueno, acá un listado de estos elementos en los que hay que hacer foco para analizar estas oportunidades potenciales de mejora, como bueno, controles, la parte eléctrica, black loads, que son las cargas enchufadas, cargas eléctricas enchufadas, mantenimiento, bueno, ahora las vamos a enumerar.
But one subject always comes up, and that's plug loads, right? Plug loads. That's the plug load is what you plug into the wall, right? Designers, energy audit engineers, whatever, we think that the plug loads are one of the biggest loads in the building. Some people argue that it can be up to 50% of the load, but what I see more than normally is probably about 20% of the load. But it's still a very big load. And because it's not designed into the job, the people that can control the plug loads is the facility engineer, the facility operator. Those are the people that can actually control those loads by going around and educating the people about how important those plug loads are and how much money they cost. Now, we have to plug things in, I understand that. But there's nothing wrong with unplugging things when you're not using them. When you look at leaving a computer on, leaving your phone plugged in, it seems like a little tiny bit of energy. But when you multiply that times everybody in this room and half the people in this city, that number now becomes huge. And so plug loads are really a big deal.
Uno de los ítems para